My boyfriend Jake blew my money on another woman. Then he grabbed my steering wheel, laughing as we crashed. I left him on I-5, alone. His lies about that night spread online. Then I heard Sarah's voice on his phone. My name's Emma. I'm 28, living in a cozy apartment in Seattle. For 2 years, I've been with Jake, my boyfriend. He's charming, works in tech, always cracking jokes. But lately, his charm's been fading. Things took a turn last week, and I'm still reeling. I need to know if I was wrong for what I did. It started with a work party in Bellevue. Jake's company was throwing a big bash at a fancy bar. I was excited, thought it'd be fun to go as his +1. But when I asked, he shut me down. Emma, you don't drink, he said, rolling his eyes. You just sit there looking miserable. It'd kill the vibe. His words stung. I don't drink, sure, but I'm not a buzzkill. I love a good time, just without the booze. I let it slide, figured he knew his crowd. But then he asked for $50 for a taxi home. I handed it over, no questions asked. He kissed my cheek, promised he'd text me later, and left. I stayed home, binge watching a new series, trying not to feel left out. Around midnight, my phone buzzed. A text from Jake, not a sweet one. A photo of him and Sarah, his work wife, grinning at a pizza joint in Capitol Hill. The caption read, "Best night ever." My stomach twisted. I called him. No answer. I texted, "Where's my $50?" An hour later, he replied, "Oh, Sarah was starving. Got her a burger, fries, milkshake, the works. You cool with that?" I wasn't cool with that. That was my money, meant for his ride home, not for some late-night feast with Sarah, who's always been too close for comfort. She's his coworker, sure, but the way she laughs at his jokes, touches his arm, it's never sat right with me. I tried to sleep, but my mind raced. Why was he spending my money on her? Why was he at a burger joint instead of the party? I pictured them together laughing while I sat alone in my dark apartment. My chest tightened. Was I overreacting? Maybe it was just a friendly gesture. But deep down, I felt disrespected. Used. Like my feelings didn't matter. By 2 a.m., I was still awake, staring at my phone. Then it rang. Jake's name lit up the screen. His voice was slurred, loud, begging me to pick him up from Sarah's place, 30 miles away, in the middle of the night. I wanted to say no, to tell him to use the taxi money he'd already spent, but I couldn't leave him stranded. Or could I? That's when the real trouble started, and I'm not sure if what I did next was right. I grabbed my keys, slipped on sneakers, and headed out. Jake's call had me fuming, but worry overpowered my anger. He sounded wasted, slurring every word, giggling like a kid. Sarah's place was 30 miles away, in Bellevue. At 2 a.m., the roads were empty, but my mind wasn't. Why was he at her house? Why did he blow my money on her? My grip tightened on the wheel as I merged onto I-5. The drive felt endless. Rain streaked my windshield, blurring the city lights. I kept replaying his text about Sarah's burger and milkshake. $50 gone just like that, for her. My heart pounded. I tried calling him when I was 10 minutes out. No answer. 5 minutes later, still nothing. I pulled up to Sarah's apartment complex, a sleek building with glass balconies. I texted Jake, "I'm here." No reply. I waited. 5 minutes. 10. 20. My phone stayed silent. I called again, then again. On the 7th try, he picked up. "Emma, chill, I'm coming." Sarah lost her necklace, helping her look. A necklace? At 2:30 a.m., my jaw clenched. I heard Sarah's voice in the background, laughing, saying something about finding it under the couch. I wanted to scream. Instead, I muttered, "Hurry up." Finally, Jake stumbled out, his hoodie soaked, eyes glassy. He climbed into the passenger seat, reeking of whiskey. "You're the best, babe," he slurred, patting my knee. I didn't respond, just started driving. The rain was heavier now, slicking the highway. I focused on the road, trying to stay calm, but Jake wouldn't shut up. "That party was wild. Sarah's hilarious, Em. She did this impression of you," he chuckled. "Nailed your voice, all naggy and stuff." My blood boiled. "Naggy?" I snapped, eyes on the road. "You spent my money on her, Jake, then made me drive out here." He laughed louder, like it was a joke. "Relax, it's just $50. Sarah's fun, you know? Not like you, always so serious." His words cut deep. I gripped the wheel tighter, speeding up slightly. Then, out of nowhere, he reached over. His hand grabbed the steering wheel, yanking it. The car swerved. Tires screeched. My heart leapt to my throat. "Jake, stop!" I yelled, jerking the wheel back. We were on I-5, cars zooming past. He laughed like it was a game. "Lighten up, Em." I slammed on the brakes, pulling to the shoulder near Redmond. My hands shook. "Don't do that again," I said, voice trembling. He smirked, leaning back. "Sarah said you'd freak out. She's right. You're no fun." I started driving again, my pulse racing. I told myself to stay calm, get him home, deal with this tomorrow. But 2 minutes later, he did it again. This time, he yanked the wheel harder. The car skidded, spinning toward the curb. I screamed, fighting to regain control. We hit the shoulder, gravel crunching, and the front bumper slammed into a ditch. My chest heaved. Jake was doubled over, laughing hysterically. "Oh man, your face, priceless." I stared at him, my hands frozen on the wheel. The rain pounded the roof. My fear turned to rage. He'd endangered us both, for a laugh, mocking me with Sarah's words. I checked the car scratches on the hood, but drivable. I reversed out of the ditch, my mind racing. I couldn't do this anymore. His laughter echoed in my ears. Was I wrong to want him gone? My heart pounded in my ears. Jake's laughter filled the car, mocking me. The rain hammered the windshield, blurring the dark stretch of I-5 near Redmond. I stared at the scratches on my hood, my hands trembling. He'd grabbed the steering wheel, twice, nearly killed us both, and he was laughing, like it was nothing, like my fear was a punchline. I turned to him, my voice low. "Get out." He stopped laughing, but his smirk stayed. "What? No way, Em. It's pouring." I didn't blink. "I told you not to touch the wheel. You did it anyway. Get out." He leaned back, crossing his arms. "You're being dramatic. Sarah said you overreact to everything." That name again. Sarah. My blood boiled. "You think this is a joke? You crashed my car." He chuckled, shaking his head. "It's a ditch, not a crash. Relax. You love me too much to leave me here. His confidence, his arrogance, it made my skin crawl. I wanted to scream, but I stayed calm. I needed him out of my car, out of my life. I took a deep breath. Jake, I'm serious. Get out or we're done. He laughed again, louder. You won't do it. You're all talk. Sarah's right about you. My chest tightened. His words, her words, they twisted together, suffocating me. I couldn't let him win. Not after this. Not after he'd endangered us both. I had to think fast. Fine, I said, my voice steady. I think the tire's flat from the ditch. Can you check the trunk for the spare? He raised an eyebrow, still smirking. You're helpless without me, huh? He unbuckled, stepped into the rain, and popped the trunk. My heart raced. This was my chance. The second he leaned into the trunk, I slammed my foot on the gas. The car lurched forward. His shout echoed behind me, but I didn't look back. My hands shook as I merged back onto I-5, the rain blurring my vision. My phone buzzed Jake, calling. I ignored it again and again. 7 missed calls by the time I hit Seattle. I pulled into my apartment's parking lot, my chest heavy. Had I gone too far? He was drunk, alone, in the rain, on a highway. Guilt gnawed at me, but then I remembered his laughter, the way he mocked me, the way he said Sarah's name, like she was the standard I couldn't meet. My guilt faded. He'd pushed me to this. I sat in my car, the engine ticking as it cooled. My phone buzzed again, a text from Jake. You're gonna regret this, Em. I'm fine. Sarah'll take care of me. My stomach churned. Sarah, again. Always Sarah. I turned off my phone, stepped out, and locked the car. The rain soaked my hair as I walked inside. I collapsed on my couch, tears burning my eyes. Was I wrong to leave him? Or was this the only way to protect myself? I barely slept. My couch felt too big, too empty. The rain had stopped, but Jake's laughter still echoed in my head. I kept seeing the car skidding, the ditch, his smirk. By 7 a.m., I was in my Seattle apartment's kitchen, brewing coffee, trying to shake the guilt. Had I really left him on I-5? Was he okay? My phone was still off. I didn't want his texts, his excuses. Then my doorbell rang. My stomach dropped. I peeked through the peephole Jake. He looked rough, his hoodie damp, mud streaked on his jeans. I opened the door, bracing myself. He pushed past me, collapsing at my kitchen table. Emma, what the hell? He snapped, eyes bloodshot. You left me out there, in the rain, on a highway. I crossed my arms, my voice steady. You grabbed the wheel, Jake, twice. You crashed my car. He scoffed, leaning back. It was a ditch. You're blowing this out of proportion. My jaw tightened. I told you to stop. You laughed. You mocked me with Sarah's words. He rolled his eyes. Sarah's right. You're too sensitive. It was a joke. A joke. My hands clenched. You endangered us both. That's not a joke. He stood, pacing my tiny kitchen. You abandoned me, Emma. A real girlfriend wouldn't do that. I flinched. His words hit hard, but I held my ground. A real boyfriend wouldn't risk my life or spend my money on another woman. He froze, then smirked. Sarah needed food. What's the big deal? She wouldn't flip out like you. There it was again, Sarah. Always Sarah. My chest burned. You didn't let me come to the party. Said I'd ruin the vibe. Then you blew my $50 on her burger and shake. He waved me off. You're obsessed with that. It's just money. I stepped closer, voice shaking. It's not just money. It's respect. You ignored my fear. You laughed when I was terrified. He shook his head, muttering, You're so dramatic. I wanted to scream. Instead, I kept going. You helped Sarah find a necklace at 2 a.m., made me wait 20 minutes. Then you grabbed the wheel. Twice. I was scared, Jake. He slammed his hand on the table. I jumped. You left me out there, he shouted. I could have been hit by a car. Anything could have happened. I took a breath, steadying myself. You put us in danger first. I warned you. You didn't listen. He paced faster, his voice rising. Sarah said you'd twist this. She said you'd make me the bad guy. My heart sank. Sarah, again. Why is it always about her? I asked, quieter now. You compare me to her. You mock me with her words. He stopped pacing, glaring. Maybe because she gets me. She doesn't freak out over nothing. Nothing. He called nearly crashing my car. Nothing. I felt sick. I sat down, my voice calm but firm. Jake, you disrespected me. You scared me. You chose Sarah over me. Over and over. He laughed, bitter. You're just jealous. Sarah's fun. You're not. My eyes stung, but I didn't cry. If I'm not fun, why are you here? He didn't answer, just grabbed his jacket. Think about this, Emma, he said, heading for the door. If you can't handle a joke, maybe we're done. The door slammed. Silence settled over my apartment. I stared at my coffee, now cold. Part of me wanted to chase him, to fix this. But another part, the stronger part, knew he was wrong. His actions, his words, they weren't love. They were control. Was I crazy to think I deserved better? A week passed since Jake stormed out. I avoided my phone, trying to clear my head. My Seattle apartment felt quieter, emptier. I buried myself in work, leading a new project, staying late at the office. But the silence gnawed at me. Jake's stuff was still here, his gaming console, his hoodies, clogging up my space. He'd swing by every few days, grabbing a bag or two, barely speaking. Crashing at Ryan's, he'd mutter, then leave. I believed him, foolishly. Yesterday, I caved and opened social media. Big mistake. Jake's post hit me like a punch. A long, dramatic story about how I, his girlfriend of 2 years, abandoned him on I-5. Left me in the rain, alone, on a dark highway, he wrote. Had to walk miles. Could have died. My jaw dropped. He painted me as a monster. No mention of him grabbing the wheel. No mention of the ditch. Nothing about Sarah or my $50. I scrolled through the comments, my heart sinking. Strangers called me psychotic, abusive. One said I should be arrested for endangerment. My hands shook. Then I saw Sarah's comments, 6 of them, each worse than the last. I always knew Emma was controlling, she wrote. She never let Jake hang with us at work. Controlling? Me? I wasn't even allowed at their stupid party. Another comment, she's jealous of anyone who has fun. No wonder she flipped out. My blood boiled. Sarah, who'd laughed while I waited in her parking lot. Sarah, who ate my money's worth of burgers. Now she was spinning lies, painting painting me as the villain. I kept reading, unable to stop. She claimed I'd nagged Jake about his clothes, his friends, his life. Lies, all lies. My chest tightened. How could they do this? I called Jake, straight to voicemail. I tried again. Same thing. 5 calls, no answer. My anger grew with every beep. I texted, tell the truth about that night. Now. No reply. The comments kept piling up, all pitying Jake, condemning me. I felt trapped. My reputation shredded online. I needed answers. Where was Jake really staying? Ryan's, he'd said, but something felt off. I dialed Ryan, Jake's old college buddy. My hands trembled as I waited. He picked up, sounding confused. Emma, what's up? I cut to the chase. Is Jake staying with you? Silence. Then, no, haven't seen him in weeks. Not since our last poker night. My stomach dropped. He said he's been at your place all week. Ryan laughed, awkward. Nope, no idea where he's at. I hung up, my mind racing. Jake lied. He wasn't at Ryan's. Where was he? My eyes drifted back to Sarah's comments, her fierce defense of him, her stories about me, all fabricated. A sick feeling settled in my gut. Was he with her? Had he been with her this whole time? I pictured them together, laughing, plotting that post. My hands shook as I scrolled again. Sarah's latest comment, Jake deserves better. Someone who gets his vibe. I felt betrayed, humiliated. Jake's post was still up, gaining traction. More strangers chimed in, calling me cruel. I wanted to scream, to tell the world what really happened, how he'd endangered us, how he'd mocked me, how he'd chosen Sarah over me, again and again. My guilt from leaving him on the road vanished. He'd lied to my face. He'd let Sarah trash me online. I opened my laptop, my fingers hovering over the keyboard. I couldn't let this stand. I started typing. My story, the truth, every detail he'd left out. The party, the money, the wheel, the ditch, the lies. I wasn't the villain here, but as I typed, doubt crept in. Was I wrong to fight back? Would this make things worse? Or was this the only way to reclaim my voice? I hit post. My heart raced as my words went live. I'd laid it all out, the truth. How Jake barred me from the Bellevue party. How he spent my $50 on Sarah's meal. The 2 a.m. drive to pick him up. The wheel grabbing. The ditch on I-5. His mocking laughter. His lies about staying at Ryan's. I ended with a question. Was I wrong to leave him on the road? My hands shook as I closed my laptop. The responses flooded in. People shared my post, tearing into Jake's version. He left out the part where he endangered you, one wrote. Drunk and grabbing the wheel? You did the right thing, said another. Some called out Sarah's comments, questioning her motives. Sounds like she's too invested for a work friend, someone noted. I felt validated, but still uneasy. What would Jake do now? That night, my phone rang. Jake's name flashed. I hesitated, then answered. His voice was sharp, furious. Take that post down, Emma, now. I gripped the phone. Why? So you can keep lying? He shouted. You're ruining my life. People at work are whispering. My boss saw it. I stayed calm. You ruined your own life, Jake. You left out everything you did. He kept ranting. You're twisting it. I was drunk. It was a joke. My patience snapped. A joke? You crashed my car. You mocked me with Sarah's words. He scoffed. Sarah's got nothing to do with this. I took a breath. Where have you been staying, Jake? Not Ryan's. He hasn't seen you. Silence. Then stammering. I've been crashing at different places. Friends' couches. I wasn't buying it. Tell me the truth. More silence. Then I heard it, a rustle. A muffled voice. A woman's voice. Familiar. My stomach twisted. Who's that? I demanded. Before he could answer, the phone shuffled. Sarah's voice came through, dripping with fake pity. Emma, it's me. Jake's been staying with me. Just helping a friend after you abandoned him. My blood ran cold. Abandoned? He endangered my life, Sarah. And you're defending him? She laughed, sharp. You're so dramatic. Jake needs someone who gets him. Someone fun, not you. My hands shook. You mean someone who thinks grabbing a steering wheel is funny? Someone who lies about me online? Her tone shifted, venomous. You're just jealous. Jake and I click. We talk for hours. You bore him. I saw red. You encouraged him to exclude me. You ate my money. You spread lies about me controlling him. She snapped back. You're paranoid. Jake deserves better than a vibe killer like you. I laughed, bitter. Better? You two deserve each other. The call cut off. I tried calling back. Voicemail. Again. My anger boiled over. I pictured them together, laughing, plotting. I sat on my couch, staring at my Seattle skyline view. It all clicked. Jake's refusal to bring me to the party. The money spent on Sarah. The lies about Ryan. He'd been with her this whole time, sneaking to my place to grab his stuff, pretending everything was fine. My chest ached, but a weight lifted. Their lies were exposed. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't the villain. I looked at my phone. More comments on my post, supporting me. You dodged a bullet, one said. He's manipulative, another wrote. I felt stronger, clearer. But a small part of me wondered, had I escalated this too far? Should I have stayed quiet? Or was calling them out the only way to take back my life? I stared at my phone, Sarah's words still burning in my ears. Jake had been with her, all week, lying to my face. My Seattle apartment felt suffocating, cluttered with his stuff. His gaming setup in the corner, his jackets in my closet, his coffee mug on the counter. I couldn't stand it. I grabbed trash bags, my hands moving on autopilot. Consoles, controllers, clothes, everything went in. Even the bracelet from our first trip to the Oregon coast, into the bag. I hauled it all downstairs, dumping the bags by the building's dumpster. My heart raced, but I felt free. I texted Jake. Your stuff's by the dumpster. Pickups tomorrow at 8 a.m. Not my problem anymore. No response. I didn't care. I blocked his number, then Sarah's. Social media, email, everything gone. I was done. The next morning I watched from my window. A silver Toyota pulled up. Sarah. Jake loaded the bags, her hand on his shoulder. She glanced up, smirking at my window. I didn't flinch. Let them have each other. I turned away, my apartment empty of him. For the first time in weeks, I breathed easy. 3 months later, life was different. Better. I got promoted to project lead at work, tackling big clients. I started pottery classes in Tacoma every Thursday, shaping clay into bowls I was actually proud of. Jake used to call it a waste of money. Now it was my sanctuary. I adopted a tabby cat, Luna, from a shelter. She curls up on my desk, purring while I work. My life felt full, peaceful, drama-free. Then Ryan called. I was at work, in a meeting. His text said, urgent. I stepped out, called him back. His voice was heavy. Emma, Jake, and Sarah were in a crash. Bad one. They're in the ICU. My stomach twisted, but not like before. What happened? I asked, calm. Ryan sighed. Another party. Jake was drunk, driving Sarah home on I-90. She dared him to race. They slammed into a guardrail. Cars totaled. I froze, picturing it. Jake, drunk, reckless. Sarah, egging him on. Just like that night on I-5. Only this time I wasn't there to pull them out of a ditch. Ryan kept talking. Firefighters had to cut them out. They're both unconscious, broken bones, the works. He paused. You gonna visit? I laughed, sharp. Why would I? Jake endangered my life. Lied to me. Let Sarah trash me online. She's no better. Ryan tried guilt-tripping me. They're hurt, Emma. You were with him for 2 years. I cut him off. I've got pottery tonight, a team party this weekend, apartment hunting with my sister next week. My life's full, Ryan. Jake's not in it. He went quiet. I hung up, my hands steady. I sat at my desk, Luna batting at my pen. The crash news didn't shake me like I thought it would. It felt distant, like hearing about strangers. Jake and Sarah made their choices. The party, the dare, the wreck. Just like Jake's choice to grab the wheel, to lie, to choose Sarah, I made my choice too myself. Part of me wanted to dig up Jake's old post, to comment, karma's real, huh? But I didn't. Why give them more of my energy? My post had done its job. People saw the truth. They called Jake manipulative, Sarah toxic. I wasn't the villain. I never was. Now I'm writing this, Luna purring beside me. Tonight I'll head to pottery, maybe glaze that bowl I made last week. Tomorrow I'm pitching a new project at work. Next week I'm checking out apartments in a better part of Seattle. This is my life now. I protected myself that night on I-5. No regrets. If you were me, would you have done the same? Or did I go too far?